And heads of states are set to arrive in Qatar for the 21st annual summit of the Arab League. High on the agenda will be finding a united position on the international arrest warrant for the Sudanese president. Well, Sami Sudan has more on that for us. Let's go back to him at the summit now. Sami, a lot of controversy over Sudan.
Indeed, controversy. But surely of all the arrivals over the next few hours, one of the most eagerly anticipated will be, of course, that of Sudan's President Omar al-Bashir. However, whether he actually turns up or not is, well, it's still shrouded in secrecy, you could say. Sudan, and specifically Darfur, is one of the key issues that leaders at this summit will have to tackle. The International Criminal Court, of course, as we've been mentioning, has already charged Omar al-Bashir with committing war crimes in the region, charges which have brought condemnation from the Arab world. Well, so now the leaders are under pressure to come up with a viable alternative. From Sudan, Hashim Ahlabarra reports.
Darfur, for 6 years one of the most controversial conflicts in the world. Thousands have been killed in fighting between pro-government forces and local rebels. Millions remain displaced. And the International Criminal Court has issued an arrest warrant for the Sudanese president Omar al-Bashir, accusing him of war crimes and crimes against humanity. This is one of the issues that will top the agenda at the Arab Summit. Al-Bashir wants Arab countries to show solidarity with Sudan and put pressure on the international community to reverse the decision. Here in Darfur, expectations are high.
If
Arab countries unite and stand as one, we will be able to solve all our problems. Money is not an issue because some Arab countries are very wealthy. The Arab nation is rich in resources, and they can easily resolve the problem of Darfur without asking for the West to help us.
Although security remains the highest priority, people here blame the government for not doing enough to improve their livelihood. In an area the size of France, Darfur lacks the basic infrastructure for economic development and prosperity. In Khartoum, people are concerned about the ramifications of the ICC arrest warrant. They think this could be a prelude to more sanctions against the country and possibly a forced regime change. Here, Arab summits are still seen at best as inefficient, at worst irrelevant.
When Arab leaders meet, they know in advance they will decide nothing. When they go to the summit, they will say a few words against the arrest warrant of Omar al-Bashir, and they will denounce foreign interference in the Arab world, but they will not be able to take any effective decisions.
In Sudan, there is a sentiment that the country is paying the price for resisting American foreign policy in the Middle East. But there is also a feeling that many regional powers would be happy to see the Islamists who rule Sudan out of power. But for Omar al-Bashir's government, the Doha summit could be the last chance not only to garner support for his case, but to wrench a strong stance that unequivocally warns the international community that taking Omar al-Bashir to court is rejected outright by the Arab world. Hashim Ahlabarra, Al Jazeera, Khartoum.
Well, Marwan Bishara is Al Jazeera's senior political analyst, and he joins me once again. Let's talk more about the Sudan issue. The sentiment there expressed on the streets of Sudan to our reporter Hashim Ahlabarra, the expectation that actually the Arab leaders will just pay lip service, but no serious action will be taken to support Omar al-Bashir. Maybe this is his last diplomatic chance. Is that the way you read the situation?
Well, there was a sort of a request or a demand that the Arab Summit convenes an urgent session in Khartoum in defense of Omar al-Bashir. I don't think that's coming. The idea that all Arab leaders are meeting in Doha and supporting him, that's already a lot. In the sense that there is a court already that's made its decision. If this was at the early stages of the United Nations Security Council, something could have happened. At this point in time, it's too late. In any.
Too late to reverse it.
Exactly. Too late to reverse it. What they could do is lobby the West to freeze it, meaning to freeze the implementation of such a decision, and that Omar al-Bashir is not happy with. But having said that, I mean, the idea now that after such a decision, Sami, Omar al-Bashir is becoming such a popular leader in Sudan. He wasn't necessarily that popular before the decision was taken.
So this is helping him in a sense?
It is. I mean,
at least domestically.
The West generally tends to underestimate how much such Western interference in the Arab world tends to backfire and work to the advantage of leaders who would then use it for a populist nationalist sentiment in order to garner support for themselves. So that is certainly not working in terms of popular upheaval against President Bashir.
Let's talk a little bit more about the West's approach to the Arab world. Could Sudan and the removal of Bashir become the project of the Obama administration as perhaps the Iraq was the project for the Bush administration of change, of showing a successful model of regime change, perhaps?
Before, we used to have this understanding of the Bush war on terror, and it was the preemptive strike. It was us against them, and if you harbor terrorists, you are a terrorist, and hence there's a way of changing the region by force. Under the Obama administration, and this is coming now according to Arab perspective, it's coming under different pretext, and that is international humanitarian intervention. It's no longer the geopolitical pretext, no longer the oil or threat. Now it's the humanitarian. And people think that because they understand that one of the closest officials to Obama is Susan Rice, who's his ambassador to the United Nations, who works almost as a minister in his administration. And there's a sense that humanitarian intervention is used as yet another pretext to interfere in the region. Now, that's how the Arab perspective is. But what is incredible, Sami, is that Arab and Western perspectives are diametrically opposed, as they always have been, and they are especially on Sudan. The West thinks that it's very simple in the region, that there's a rogue regime in Khartoum has to be removed.
And it's a question of another one in, and everyone lives happily ever after.
That's right. And there is a sense in the Arab world that the West tried to sell itself as a complicated thing. There's a processes, it's political, it's geopolitical, and now it's judicial. While in the Arab world, it's thought as, no, it's very simple. They're always coming after us, and they would never treat an Israeli leader as they would treat an Arab leader.
All right, well, we'll have to leave it there once again. Thanks for that, Marwan Bishara. Well, our coverage of the Arab League Summit will continue throughout the day with live coverage of the leaders arriving to Qatar. That will be at 1200 GMT here on Al Jazeera.